Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have here two articles talking about the same issue, and they contradict one another. And it's important. The news is important, but I'm just going to show you an example of coming from the same source, but one comes at 6:01 a.m. and the other one comes at about 4 p.m. or something. So the first one, this is from Ukrainska Pravda, from 29th of June 2022. This is the one from 6:01 a.m. over there. Russia claims it will not exchange Ukrainian POWs. All right, and I'm quoting from Alexander Batrykin, head of the investigative committee of the Russian Federation. We have decided not to give them back. We've received the appropriate approvals because they thought we'll surrender and then get home to our families. No, the only places that you're gonna go are the temporary detention centers and pre-trial detention centers. So he says, no, the POWs just, just, oh, we're gonna retreat, we're gonna surrender, the Russians will take them, send them to Ukraine, and then they go back to their families or maybe fight the Russians again. So details on June 28th, Batrishkin said that the 2,000 Ukrainian prisoners of war arrived yesterday. Wow. Earlier, he said, he's another guy, Kirilo Budanov, head of Ukrainian intelligence, responsible for the exchange of Ukrainian soldiers who took part in the defense of Azovstal, said that he hopes to free a significant number of Ukrainian prisoners of war in the near future. Okay, so that's the first article. I'm going to go now to the second article. And the second article is funny because we're going to find out that from Ukrainska Pravda at 5:32 p.m. on the same date of June 29th, this is the title. Ukraine welcomes home 144 prisoners, including 95 defenders of Azovstal. So it seems like in about, about 11 hours or so, or something like that, from no prisoners will be exchanged to given 144. As part of the largest prisoner exchange since February 24th, 144 soldiers, including 95 defenders of Azovstal, have returned to Ukraine. Main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine reported, and I'm quoting, another prisoner exchange has been held, thanks to which 144 Ukrainian defenders have returned home. This is the largest exchange since the beginning of the full-scale Russian invasion. All right. So, and then it says here, of the 144 released, 95 are Azovstal defenders. Among them are 43 servicemen of Azov Regiment. Details. A total of 59 soldiers of the National Guard, 30 naval personnel, 28 members of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 17 members of the State Border Services of Ukraine, 9 territorial defense personnel, and 1 member of the National Police of Ukraine were released. Of these 23 are officers, 69 military personnel of non-commissioned and senior staff. The oldest of those released was 65 years old. The youngest was 19. All right, so it says here that all these prisoners that were received back are receiving proper emergency medical and psychological care. And it says here that on June 22nd, the head of Ukrainian intelligence, Kirilo Budanov, who is responsible for the exchange of the Ukrainian defenders from Azovstal, said that in the near future, he hopes for the release of a significant number of Ukrainian prisoners. Well, that's beautiful. It says here, this is from the background. Information, Ukrainian defenders of Mariupol who were transported out of Azovstal territory in May, because they surrendered, were located in a colony in the Donetsk Oblast. Ukrainska Pravda sources in the Ukrainian authority claimed that 2,449 Ukrainian servicemen are being held as prisoners in Olenivka. Now, the Russians say there's not 2,449. They say 2,400 and it's not 2,000 2,449. They say it's 2,439 minus 10. I don't know where are the 10. No, right? It says on June 19, Russia media reported the commanders of the Azov regiment had been taken out from the occupied territory of Donetsk region to Russia for investigative actions. Prior to that, the commander of the Azov National Guard regiment, Denis Prokopenko, passed duties to Major Mikita Nattochi. So, the same. So they said, we're not going to exchange. They say, well, how about we do that? So 144, good, great news. These guys are going to, live another day. They go back home, and probably some of them, maybe they go back to fight Russians or whomever is in the Eastern Front. It's good when you see this happening, but it's okay. The rest, the important ones, were obviously put to the side for the investigative, work. That means, a little bit of talking here, a little bit of talking there, and I have to find out who's who, what's what, and then they will deem them Nazis, terrorists, what else? The other one, mercenaries, and whatever they want. Because that's the way it goes in a war. You call your enemy however you want if you're strong enough. If you're weak, then you don't. You don't because you're afraid to be squashed. Russia is not afraid. I don't know if those guys were terrorists. I don't know if guys were mercenaries. I know that from previous articles and from media, even Western media outlets, that Azov battalion had, now it's regiment, had some certain ideologies that you could find in Germany between about 1930s and early 1940s. And this is why, one reason why Russia, one of the points that Russia tries to fulfill during its special operation is to make sure that these kind of elements are not only in the battalion, which is part of the Ukrainian National Guard, so part of the military, but there are also some leaders of the Azov battalion involved in politics and very close to the Jewish President Zelensky. That's why they say, well, Zelensky is a Jew and the prime minister is a Jew, so they can't have those kinds of, with that ideology next to them. And that is like saying that, since we had the first black president, not biracial, black president in the United States, Barack Obama, there's no more racism it can't be racism in anywhere in America. That means there can't be racism in state government because Obama was the president, and now Kamala Harris is the vice president. So you see the same logic or illogic. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.